And you mentioned about traveling to these Latin American countries. So, why was it important for you to travel to these countries, ma'am? And how was your experience of traveling to Latin America? You know, when you first started, and then your later trips. So, how has that experience been, and how has it changed over your subsequent trips?
See, Siddharth, very simple. When you are writing or working on something, let's say you are doing podcasts,
Mhm.
as an example, you let's assume for 2 minutes that you're sitting somewhere in one of the South American countries and you're trying to talk to people here in India. While we are talking, still at the back of your mind, you will say, hey, you know what? I still need to understand how do these people behave, or
Mhm.
what's going on in their heads, or let's go and see their body language. Right now, I'm just talking to you.
Mhm.
You're telling me, Huma, Latin America is blah, 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 blah. And I'm saying, okay, sir. And I'm taking down notes and I'm just writing it. But when I'm traveling to these countries, you get to read their body language. That is very important for any reporter.
Mhm.
I can ask you to give me your comments on a WhatsApp. All these things have come now. First, they were not there. So, I can ask you, hey, why can't you give me your comment on the phone or a bite on the phone? And I'll try to integrate it because that's what the technology is. But when I started traveling several years ago, when I started traveling, I think my first visit to the region was somewhere in 2002, 2003.
Mhm.
I think it was 2003, 2004. I took my mother to Rio for the carnival. And I remember, like looking at the people, you saw them with a very different eye, because for me, that was a very different kind of a culture versus the culture that I probably saw in the US, where I used to travel a lot, or in Europe, where I used to travel. But that region was new for me. And so at that time, I didn't know Portuguese, neither did I know Spanish. But we used to manage it because the hotel staff would, help us with somebody accompanying us wherever. They were fascinated by my mom, so that was the initial years. But later on, I realized that, they understand us. It's not as if they're not understanding what I am saying. There is some complementarity there where they understand your body language or they understand your gestures, and they're very helpful. Any part of South America you can go, any country. Only two countries are left, Nicaragua and Cuba. Rest I have visited.
Mm.
Okay, I'm not talking about the Caribbean as the Caribbean, but yes, I have covered a lot of the countries in the region, and wherever I have gone, including El Salvador and Guatemala, best, best experiences I have had. This is
Mm.
not to say that in other places I had a bad experience, but really awesome. And again, I'm saying it from the perspective of a journalist slash traveler, because people would tell me, hey, don't go to these countries. There are gangs, there are gang wars. And I would say, hey, but I want to go there. If I'm writing about them, I need to know who are these people I'm writing about. And there are countries beyond America, there are
Mhm.
countries beyond Europe. So I need to know, and I need to introduce my, like the Indian readers that I have, to understand there are countries beyond
Mhm.
Europe or the US, or beyond Gulf. There are
Mhm.
other countries where you should go. And my experience in each country, each and every country I have visited, as and mind you, they all have been on my own. It's not as if somebody took me there. And I went on my own with my own bag and baggage, and it's been awesome.
Mm. Wow.
And I would recommend everyone to go there just to see for themselves.
Mhm.
While we talk about businesses,
Mhm.
mentioning the distance is a problem for them.
Mhm.
So I would say, hey, you know what? This is no distance. Learn to travel. If you're a traveler, you don't mind the distance, or do you? And you're a businessman. I'm sure you are going to go in a, business class or a first class. Not like me. I'm just a traveler in an economy class. So yeah, my experience has been awesome compared to several years ago, and now fast forward now, awesome. And the countries have changed. They have changed a lot. They've really changed a lot. Yes.